and All right, everybody. So we were going to start here in about like 30 minutes, but I decided to maybe we can speed this up a bit, get this started now, and show you guys actually the live class that we have right now in the school so you can get a feel for what it is being there live. Let me go ahead and start
Andrea,
sharing this stuff. Hold on.
there's it. It's just. I mean, put it this way: I used Nasdaq Level 4 when I was a market maker, and there were different things you could do on there where you could like communicate with other market makers. But it's just never something I really looked at.
All right, guys. So today, just so you guys know what we're looking at, this is chapter 3. This is a sneak peek of the class. Let me make sure this is the right one. Yeah, trends. So this is the chapter 3 that we have in our lesson. And in this lesson, basically, you're going to learn everything when it comes to trends, right? There's 8 different chapters, and he goes through each chapter every day separately. But if you're part of the trading school, you can do that live with him every day and also get his trade ideas and setups, all that sort of stuff. So let's go ahead and carry on here with the lesson. If you want to join, guys, it's on the chat, the link to join, Mark.
I mean, I guess it could have some use in the sense of you got a really illiquid stock, and I mean, I shouldn't say it's a complete waste of time because there are some scenarios where it could be of value. Like, say you have a really illiquid stock. Well, maybe there's someone out there who really wants to buy it. So they don't want to mess around and they just want to show, hey, I'm willing to post a bid here. I'm willing to buy 5,000 shares. I know it's illiquid, but I'm willing to take the risk. But I don't want to keep messing around. I want people to know that I'm willing to buy the shares. So then what you do is the terminology in the trading world is you would post the bid out loud. So someone could look and be like, oh, all right, well, it's at 570. Someone just posted a bid at 550 for 5,000 shares. I got 5,000 shares for sale. So if I go and sell, I know that the absolute worst price I'll get is the 50 cents. Maybe you sell 200 shares of 70 cents and 100 shares of 65 cents or whatever. But you would know it's out there. So sometimes, I guess in that case, like a level 2 would give you some kind of insight of what's going on in the market. But in general, I don't think you can get too much insight because it's really not an accurate portrayal of what's going on in the market. The whole idea is, well, if you see a lot of bids on one side and there's not too many offers on the other side, it's like, oh, well, that sets the stage for the market to go higher. But you don't know what's out there. In between 53 cents and 66 cents, there's probably, well, this doesn't trade that much, but I'd almost be willing to guarantee you that if you were to come here and sell 100 shares of the market, you would get a better price than 53 cents. There's got to be, there's a really good chance there's bids and offers in between here that just aren't showing. um, I hate Zuckerberg. Poor Mr. Zuckerberg. Hey, listen, man, right? Having all the great guys stolen stuff from, didn't Bill Gates allegedly steal his thing? We have the Flintstones stealing the honeymooners concept, right? Great, all the great shows are, stolen or borrowed. Did you know that after the Flintstones came out, Jackie Gleason wanted to sue them, and his manager talked him out of it. And he said, you don't want to be the guy that killed Fred Flintstone. So I think one of the funny things is about the Flintstones is, Mr. Slate is the boss at the plant where Fred works, or at the quarry, I should say. And one time I was watching it, and he was checking his quotes on the Dow Stones rock market averages. So I thought that was pretty cool. Oh wait, I'm sorry. going back here, Facebook. Yeah, I mean, I think Facebook. I think Facebook could, at least from this percent point of view, I mean, it's not acting well. I think we're going to capitulate and skyrocket to new highs. I think, we capitulate and then probably go into some slow downtrend. So I think the only thing that's really positive or in this market, the only bullish dynamic, um, is the fact that the sentiment is so bad. Now, sentiment is what we call a contrary indicator. A lot of times we really don't get good signals from it, but sometimes we do. And the idea here is that if the vast majority of investors are bearish, they've sold their stocks, right? So the market runs out of sellers, and the only place it can go is up. So this is December of 18, and this is March of 20. And you can see we're pretty much right back there now. So let's go over here to the Dow. I mean, sorry, I'm still thinking of the Dow Stones Rock Market Averages. All right, so this here is here, and this here is here. This is the number of stocks that are above the 200-day moving average. So when you get to an extreme low, in other words, 83% of stocks are below their 200-day moving average, it just shows really, really aggressive selling. All right. So we could get some kind of a bounce. But again, there was no inflation back here, and there was no inflation back here. So, this time it could be different. And I just think that things are things are lining up. It's like I said, everybody, there's really nothing to be bullish about other than this negative sentiment. I mean, you can argue the market is still overvalued. If we have an average bear market, right? There's been 25 bear markets since 1929. The average decline has been 35%. Let's see here. Measure. All right, so if we were to get down 35%, that would put us, sorry about that. All right, that would put us down around 308, and now we're at 376. So that could be another 20% to come. So if this is an average bear market, then we can expect some more selling. And I think it's going to happen. I mean, I just think that this whole energy. Oh, I want to read the letter Chevron sent to Biden, because I just really think it's disgraceful that your solution to this energy crisis is blaming everyone. First it was the big meat conglomerate when beef prices are going up. Now it's big oil. Exxon lost money over the last few years because they put so much money into development. So let's see. Press releases. This should be pretty good. I guess they haven't posted it yet. Let's see. Chevron. Letter to Biden. There we go. All right. So I guess um oh, I want to take a look at this Revlon. I'm going to put this up here before I forget. Looks like there's going to be some resistance at 10, not surprisingly. All right, so I just want to, I wonder if that's a little disrespectful there, putting it in lowercase. That seems a little weird. You know, you would think it's a formal letter to the president, but whatever. All right, so let's see what he has to say. The work meeting with Secretary Granholm. She's the one who laughs. Chevron is also investing $10 billion to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Notwithstanding these efforts, Chevron and its 37,000 employees work every day to help provide the world with the energy it demands and to lift the lives of billions of people who rely on these supplies. Notwithstanding these efforts, your administration has largely sought to criticize and at times vilify our industry. These actions are not beneficial to meeting the challenges we face. With today's geopolitical situation is contributing to the energy crisis, bringing down prices and increasing supply will require a change in approach. Let's work together. So this is pretty kind of sad that they feel the need to do this. But here's the thing: clarity and consistency on policy matters ranging from leases to permits. There's all these leases out there, but they're not issuing permits. All right. You know, there's all these leases, they're not issuing permits. Now, if you were running an energy company, right, would you, and the president says, oh, go drill more. And at the same time, he's vilifying you, saying you're a profiteer, saying he wants to shut down the energy industry. And then you look into the past and see, like, oh, the XL pipeline got shut down. Why would you go start drilling a new project when they could just come right along and just shut it down? So that's why they're talking about needing clarity and consistency. So I guess a bunch of the gas company executives went to the White House there. But I don't know. I just feel as though it's really important to point this out so you guys just understand. And you know, I mean, this is a class and we're supposed to learn. And I've been getting a lot of questions about this, but you know, charts don't lie, right? And if we look at oil, you know, you don't need to be a market guru wizard of timing to see this, right? I mean, this is this COVID sell-off, and then this is right where the election was, and oil went up here. And what's unfortunate about this is that you know this oil, this here, is what is financing the war for Putin. If oil was down here, he wouldn't have had the money to go in there. Russia's economy relies on oil. It's like a one-hit wonder economy. I mean, obviously they have other things too, but oil needed to be I don't know, I think somewhere around $68 a barrel for the Russian economy to make money. All right, so anyway, what do we have here with Revlon? Let's see. All right, so Revlon. So story going around that they're going to get taken over. Revlon borrows money to shore up supply chain. That's a little frightening. Well, all right, let's think about this though. There's a good chance there's going to be resistance here. And that's, we're going to call it the $10 level, right? Because markets like nice round levels. Look at 10. Look at how clear 16 is up here. So this story started going around that this company from India is considering buying these guys. So that's why it went up, and it ran into this resistance at 10. But now think about it, right? If this company, I'm not telling you what to do here. I'm just pointing out things you may want to think about. This company was at $2. Now it's at $8. I mean, that's a lot of percentage. So maybe they thought, oh, gee, at 2, that looks like a nice target, but we were going to pay them, we were going to pay them 5. So that is something to think about there, right? Has this thing gone up so high? And I guess I would assume there's no commentary from Revlon. But one of the things we can do, which I really like to do, is to go to these companies, investor relations pages, and see. You don't really need to listen to a lot of these idiots on Wall Street, like all these, gurus. So much of this stuff you can do by yourself. It doesn't take as long as you think. But not surprisingly, there is no comment on it. So let's see. They're reorganizing. All right, so I guess that's the story with that. I mean, if I was trading this thing, I'd be looking at this $10 level for resistance. Obviously, if you're playing a takeover, I don't know. We got to think, like, what is the company really worth? And the way more sophisticated analysts would look at that is they would look at other companies that are in the industry. So let's take a look at Revlon here. So much of Wall Street, so much of Wall Street is just comparing things to other things, right? In other words, let me just show here. All right, so Revlon. I want to get the. All right. All right, so this is what companies would do to compare valuations. And it sounds simple, and it is, right? So these other companies, Unilever, Estee Lauder, Olaplex, and however you say this, Coty, look at their price to earnings ratios: 16, 29, 17. So basically, you might hear people talking about what we call comps, and that just means they're comparisons to other things. So if you see one price to earnings ratio, where are we, of 16, and you see another one that's 29, the one that is 16 is considered to be a cheaper company. It's considered to be a better valuation, because a price to earnings ratio is the amount that you pay for $1 of earnings, all right, when you invest in the stock. So if a stock has a price earnings ratio of 16, they earn $1 in the, or if it costs $1 of investments to get $16 of earnings, this company, it costs $1 of investments to get 29 levels of earnings. Wait, am I saying this backwards? I just want to show you. So by this metric here, you're paying $16 to get $1 of earnings. Here you're paying $29 to get $1 of earnings. All right, so I think I had it mixed up. So this is considered a cheaper company because you can get earnings cheaper. So in general, and there's a lot of things that are different on Wall Street, but in general, if a company has a lower price to earnings ratio and it's in the same industry as another company that has a higher price to earnings ratio, it's considered to be a lower valuation. So when someone, now the trouble with Revlon is they're losing money, so they're not going to have a price to earnings ratio, right? But what someone might do is think, like, if these guys turn it around, what would be their price to earnings ratio? What's the price to earnings ratio of other companies that do this? And then that's where they come up with their valuation. So that's something that fundamental analysts look at. So a lot of it is just comparison. A lot of Wall Street is like, you got two companies that do the same thing. The fundamental analysts look at all these metrics and so forth, and they just try to decide which one is the cheapest. Because the thought is that as time goes by, eventually the market will realize that that stock is cheaper, and it will catch up and go up higher. Oh, this looks pretty cool. June Chevron investor presentation. Oh, that's pretty cool. So this is the New York Stock Exchange. Now, if you go here, it's hard to see because it's black and white, but over there, if you made the turn, that's where you go. That's where all the traders and stuff are going. Right across the street is the JP Morgan building. And back in I think it was 1923, there was a big terrorist attack on Wall Street. So 9/11 wasn't the first terrorist attack on Wall Street. And at the time, they said, we want to leave this damage here so people never forget. So let me see. Wall Street 1920, Wall Street bombing scars. All right, yeah. So this here is, and this is still here to this day. So, just like people say after 9/11, never forget. Well, people used to say that back then. And I'll bet you maybe 1 in 100 people know that there was a big terrorist attack on Wall Street back in the 20s. And it was never solved. I think maybe 300 people got killed. And it was done by the anarchists, a group of anarchists, but they've never been able to catch them. So let's keep in mind that anarchists assassinated William McKinley. And anarchists also assassinated Garfield. So we've had 4 presidents be assassinated, and 2 of them were by these anarchists. But anyway, that's just a little bit of I don't know how I got into that, but that's just a little bit of history there. So it's important to study history so we don't repeat it, right? All right, let's see if you guys got some questions here. What happened to Mo? Oh, okay, yeah. Oh.
Hey, really quick here, guys. Just want to give a big shout out here to Victor TXY. Welcome here to the family, to the Benzinga Trading School. Let's go. If you guys want to learn and trade with Mark, I'll put the link in the chat. Big shout out there. Victor, we'll see you there. And let's go ahead and carry back here with the session, folks.
The FDA is taking nicotine out of the cigarettes. So I guess that would make them less addictive, right? So they're probably going to figure out something else to put in here to make them addictive again. I'll put some weed in there. It's preparing an order to order Juul Labs to remove its e-cigarettes from the market. I wonder why. Altria, the maker of Marlboro cigarettes. So am I to imply that Altria makes Juul too? Well, I guess when you have an addictive product and you make it less addictive, It's probably not good for your future course of sales here. All right, Barnaby. Now I know some of you guys, you stoners, probably know more about jewels than I do, but yeah. So here is a 1-year picture. And and part of this move too is it looks like we broke support, but it is coming back. It may get some kind of reversal, but that could be game-changing news. This time Dub's seen different based on the interest rate cycle. How many more times before the Fed can drop rates to 0? Yeah, well, therein lies the problem. If you look at the federal funds effective rate there, parts of real low interest rates lead to economic chaos. So let me put this up here. So this is the Fed funds rate. And we can see back in 1955, it was probably like 2. In here, we got all the way up till 17%. So this is what people are afraid of now, is if the inflation gets too high, the Federal Reserve is going to have to jack up interest rates to force the economy into recession. And that's what happened back then. And if you look, I want to, this is my, for now, this is my favorite chart. I go through different favorites, but I really like showing this because I'm a big history buff. And I think also as someone who is, in the markets, it's good to know history because history repeats itself in a lot of ways. So this is the Dow Jones since the beginning, all the way back to 1987. So that's where that bombing was. It was like right here that we just looked at. And you can see our current move lower really doesn't even kind of show up as a blip. But we had in the late 70s, all right, it was a time that was not good. There was a lot of crime. It was the age of Chips and BJ and the Bear. Let's see. So now look at this here, right? We got really serious inflation in the beginning of here, right? It had to do with a couple of different things, like the Bretton Woods Agreement, coming off the gold standard, the war out in the Middle East. So the market didn't really go anyway for years and years and years here. I mean, it traded, but if you bought and hold, it took from 1966 to 1982 to break through here. So hence the myth of buy and hold. Now, this is the Jimmy Carter years, which you're hearing a lot of reference to because there's similarities, I guess, with the current things. So, the market went down, didn't really do anything. Then here, Ronald Reagan comes into office and we see this rally. But in order to crack the inflation, they made this massive rate hike, right? And that caused this drop here. But after it got washed out, it led to an explosion higher after not really moving for 15 years. So it's the whole, you got to pick your poison type of a thing. It's, what's worse, inflation or a bad economy? And I think most people concur that inflation is, because if you have inflation, it's eventually going to ruin the economy one way or the other. So you're better off just, knocking it out before you could. And this whole thing could have been avoided had they been looking at raising up rates last year, instead of promoting the myth that things were transitory. Because as you guys know, when you see in some of these presentations that I show you guys, I first started writing about inflation back in August of 2020. And the reason why was because I saw this big move higher in copper, right? So I think the date of that article that we have is it August 20th? So right here, I was writing about inflation. I mean, copper had gone from 2 to 289. That's a huge move, and this is a really good indicator of the economy. Now we have something that's a little bit kind of frightening, because this move lower here could be telling us the economy is really slowing down, or and if we get into a deflationary environment, in a lot of ways that's even worse than inflation. Chesapeake Energy sees 10% oil field inflation. U.S. wheat futures firm after sell-off. Soybeans weak, corn mixed. Yeah, so this here's a little concerning. And if we mix this in with what we see going on in oil, Fed is strongly committed to bringing down inflation. Thanks, guy. Revlon is a short squeeze. I mean, it could be both, Reliance is owned by so-and-so. Well, I mean, sorry, Revlon. Let's see, says, doesn't less nicotine mean smokers will smoke twice as much? Yeah, buy. That's time to buy, man. That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. Well, here's a way you could play a potential reversal, right? We got support here, so if this comes up, there's probably going to be some resistance. But if it breaks through, you get a nice move higher there. Mark, this is probably not that much on the radar screen in the U.S., but I think we might be having the next problem around the corner with increasing interest rates in the EU. Well, I would agree. I don't know if it's going to be in the paper now, but we saw this morning that there's starting to be strikes in Britain because inflation costs. I guess it's not here. I mean, all this stuff is all kind of linked together in one way or another. I just it's all kind of linked together. So, if we go into recession, Europe will go into recession. If Europe goes into recession, we'll go into recession. I don't see it here. But I just think that we have this big inflation, and they should be having, like, there are things that they can do to bring it down. There are things that they can do, but no one seems to be doing anything. Like, they could suspend the Jones Act. There are just things that they can do, but I guess let's see. So I mean, I don't get it, frankly, but that's just me. Indices. Yeah, that's the Case Shiller. I mean, I just think that I can, obviously everyone wants a clean environment and cleaner energy, but I just think there's a better way to transition than. I mean, I saw, like, Oklahoma has one of the best economies in the country, and I think they're up to 40% of on renewable energy. Why the hell can't I find it? USC SHPI. SHPI. I don't know. I'm going crazy. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so this is our home prices index. And I mean, look at this. This is kind of even gone like parabolic here. So, I mean, this looks, with interest rates going up, mortgage delinquencies, as Elsa points out. Yeah, what's going to be real bad, I think, is if these oil prices aren't down come wintertime, when people got to start, when people got to really worry about heating their homes. And you know what scares me is I think the solution or what you're going to start hearing about is price controls. And if you have price controls, disastrous things happen. So pretend you're the gas station down the road and you're not allowed to sell gas for more than $5, but it costs you $5.50 to buy it. It's like you're not going to be selling any gas. So I just hope that that's the next thing that we have to worry about. The dollar index and DBC, I would probably get out of. I think DBC is a good longer term hold here, but and I think some of you guys probably still have some profits in it here. But if oil and if oil and copper really start to fall down, this is going to keep going. And I don't know. I mean, it just seems to me like this isn't just normal trading. This is like, it's not like profit taking or whatever, Like, let me just show you if I can show you on oil. Right? Like this selling here was profit taking, meaning more shorter term. I don't know if this is telling us now that we're starting to slow down. This could be telling us this could be yet another thing uh this could be yet another thing that is telling us we're going into a slowdown. In other words, it's going down because there's just not as much demand. Still very high though. This thing could, it's still going to be detrimental to the economy. I don't know, Boris. I don't know. I don't know if it has to do much with refineries, but I don't remember gas prices being that high back then, like yourself. I remember oil prices being high. Do you think commodities and oils will break down now? Well, it's kind of looking like they're starting to in a lot of ways. Maybe what we're seeing is bullish. Maybe we are going into the soft landing here. Um, maybe the effects of these interest rate hikes are starting to work. Maybe that's what we're seeing here. So I don't know. I guess we'll just have to see. XLU, XLB, XLI will keep going lower. Well, let me just see here. Well, right now, SPY looks range bound. I mean, I think they could. How about XLI? XLI seems to be at support here. See this $85 level? They seem to slow down. Too many tourists. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. There still just doesn't really seem to be that much to be bullish about, other than the fact that sentiment is so negative. But I guess I didn't realize what time it was, guys, and I gotta be somewhere at 2 o'clock. So I'm gonna wrap it up. But this is what I would say with some parting thoughts here. I think if you got to keep in on Apple, and as long as Apple stays below this 137 level, we're not going to get a significant move higher in the broader market, because this is just too big of a part of it. And with Microsoft, we're kind of just testing this resistance here. So those are going to be our signs to watch on the upside. So if those resistance levels start breaking away, you're going to see the market start to move higher. Oh, you're welcome, Brandy. Thank you, Mr. Steven.
All right, folks. So that was basically a sneak peek of the live class that we have right now with Mark Petrino. He's going to carry on there for a couple of minutes there with the folks, but I just wanted to really show you a little bit of what he does there in the class, what he talks about. And this goes for all the chapters that we have, right? Trends, levels, investment psychology, market principles, analysis, and sentiment. This one right here, chart patterns, trends, momentum, introduction and philosophy. So basically all these chapters, right? There's about 8 total, and you have a live Q&A session with Mark, and you also have live trading rooms with Mark. Just want to show you this quick for Victor and all the other folks that joined. You can see here on the left side, you just click chat on the header, and then you have right there questions for Mark. If you can't go to the live Q&A with Mark, you can always ask your question there. If you want Mark's trade ideas, you can always take a look at it there also, right? He's posting entries, setups, levels right there. And more importantly, I want you to look at this. He will post this, I believe it's once a week. And there's always a funny twist to it, right? There's an interesting thing there, a message that he's putting in there. Let's see what this is. So, I mean, this is basically like what's happening right now, with the economy, right? What's happening with the markets. You have always symbols here that he's trading. So you're looking at certain symbols, levels to look at, to go either way, right? Short or long. The trading school is there to help you, just fortify your trading style, right? If you like to day trade, swing trade, do all that stuff. So this is once a week, and you'll go over you will go over this with Mark, right? Just to show you quickly. Then you have the student chart of the day. Students are pretty much sharing trade ideas and things like that, applying what they're learning and working together, right? Maybe they can help each other out. It happens pretty often. And then you have the student plan project chat where the students develop their own trading system. It's very interesting. You should check it out. If you want quizzes, every single chapter has a quiz right here for every single chapter. So you can test yourself, right? And see where you need improvement, what the areas that you need improvement on. Very helpful, right? You don't know if you don't quiz yourself, really. And the recordings, if you want to watch any recordings, video library, right? Pro is included with the trading school. So everything that you're seeing now, the trading school, it comes with Benzinga Pro. The classes that you have with Mark Petrino are Monday to Friday. So Monday to Thursday, 7 to 9 a.m. Eastern. And then you meet from 12 to 1. But let me show you here Pro really quick here while we're looking at Revlon, seeing what's going on there with that squeeze. But basically, yes, what you're seeing now, Benzinga Pro, this platform is included. It is part of the trading school. It is part of the trading school. So as long as you have the school, you will have this, okay? Now, let me just pull up something here really quick, and then you can kind of see how Pro works real time also, just while I pull something up here. But Pro is pretty much live data, right? You see this chart. This is second to second data, right? This you don't have any lags here like you do on every other place. This is a very light platform. Just run it on your Chrome, whatever you're using. Yes, everybody. So if you want to keep the school after the 7 days, the $7 trial, it's $14.97 for the year, and you do get a free laptop. That's right. Yep. So good question there on the Zoom side. And so let's just take a look here at Revlon, right? What's going on, just to show you more or less how you can dig into a company, right? You can look at the news here. I think we pretty much all know that they, did some sort of bankruptcy, and then this company, let me actually look at it here. I think it's Reliant, Revlon. Okay. So this came out like 5 days ago, so it's not like new, but it's been adding up there. Let's see. So it looks like Indian conglomerate Reliance Industries is considering buying out Revlon in the United States days after. Okay, so after the cosmetics giant filed for bankruptcy. So I don't know. We cannot watch this. I don't think we can watch this here. But this is really just a Google away, right? So this is really, I guess, what's moving the stuff. I don't know, but if you want to have everything there, like available to you, all you have to do is literally, in your Benzinga Pro, you have it all there pretty much, right? And it looks like there's some sort of stuff with short squeeze here. And Benzinga Pro will pretty much rally and gather all this data for you. So basically it says, it was placed on top of Fintel's short squeeze opportunity list. So this gives you all the information you need. You don't have to be searching out in a bunch of different places for this sort of information, right? If you're always going to have it at your fingertips in Benzinga Pro, right? In Benzinga Pro itself. So you have a full description here, what's going on. And I remember that Carl Icahn saved this company in 2020 because it was going to go bankrupt again. But all right, so this is where you can find all the news, right? If you want to look at the overview, keep in mind, you can literally just, look at all the stuff here, peers, earnings, and also what the company does. If you're trading something, this is a very quick, very quick summary for traders. It helps me a lot. And this is basically like, you see where it, describes the website. It has a link to go to the website, to the homepage. So you can pretty much see like what's going on there. What do they do? I guess it looks like they have, investor relations right there. And you can see all the stuff. I think they have Britney Spears signed up. I don't know. But yeah, this is where you can find a lot more about the company. If you want to learn more about them, about their makeups and stuff like that. I'm not too familiar with it, to be honest, but I am really liking this chart. I'm not going to lie. I did call a couple people asking about thoughts on Revlon, but yeah, man, this is where you can pretty much look at the live chart for Benzinga Pro. So whatever you're doing, if you're day trading this, if you're swinging this, if maybe you think this company has a future, it doesn't matter. Like you need dependable charts. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You need good charts. Like right now, imagine if this chart would be delayed 15 minutes, and there's a ton of brokerages out there that will give you 15-minute delayed data, right? Or it's just very slow, like 30-second delay, and it's real time. It just happens to be slow. And then you're buying a stock that you think is going up, but it's really not. It's already down, and you're just buying at a price that's, so that's something that I found out once I was comparing systems and charts. And, glad to see that with Pro, you pretty much get that live stuff. So everything as it happens in the chart, it's not delayed, it's real time. So yeah, that's just a quick example of how you can use Pro. Let me show you how you can use the scanner on this. 1 second. So stocks between $5 and $10, okay? And we're just gonna see what, keep in mind, I found Revlon on the scanner in the morning here. I had it on pre-market, but then now that we are in regular trading hours, I'm gonna select it to regular trading hours. And then you can filter this by sectors as well. So keep in mind, I am scanning the markets, and at the same time, I have a chart open next to it where I can actively look at what's happening with Revlon, okay?
So as I'm actively trading right now with you, well, I'm not trading it, but like if you're trading a stock, you can have a chart open, have a scanner, check all the moves real time. All right. So let's just see what we could find on this scanner here. Okay, we already know Revlon is there. Sela. I've heard about this penny stock for a long time. It's a nice pop. Wow, man, yep. PEV. The hell? I think this company went public today or something. People confused it for REV maybe. Oh, BCY. Yeah. Okay, I saw this earlier. I'm not sure what this is. Let me look at the news. It's probably acquired. Yep, there you go. It'll be acquired. So I'm not even going to look at that. So basically, I just want to show you really this scanner, how you can use it, right, in many different ways. Keep in mind that like here, you can pretty much select the market cap. So as an example, just a quick example, guys. If I want a market cap, like scan stocks that have a market cap at least of $2 billion, then I can select that, right? If you don't want to trade low floats for reasons, or if you do want to trade them, you can put everything under 2 billion. I'm not saying 2 billion is the marker. I'm just saying, at least that's how, I mean, I use that to kind of weed out some of the smaller ones, unless there's some banger news, like Revlon today. But then you can also do the price, right? So if you want to trade stocks that are $0 to $5, go ahead. $5 to $10, or 5 to 20, or up to 100, or infinity, literally. So this is really important for traders, right? You definitely want to trade what what you're used to trading. Oh, there it goes. There goes Revlon. We got Revlon squeezing live here. All right, so so this is pretty much how you can, update all this stuff as you're trading it. Now, the other interesting thing that I do like here is that you can filter this by sectors, right? So for example, if you do want to trade, if you want to trade, for example, communication services, consumer discretionary, consumer staples, energy, financials, healthcare, whatever it is, right? You can pretty much filter it in or filter it out. For example, communication services, yes. And again, this is just hypothetical. This is what I would be trading. So these sectors that are highlighted, those are the sectors that you're pretty much going to find in this scanner, right? So that means that if I have it set up like this, it's only going to show me companies that are in these sectors, and it's not going to show me the companies that are in these other sectors, right? Like energy, industrials, information, that sort of stuff. So this is how I use it. I have been trading for about 2-3 years, and I can tell you that it really is a game changer once you kind of step up into the like premium services, if you want to call them that. But this is Benzinga's proprietary technology scanners, and to be honest, it's helped me a lot as a trader. And it doesn't matter what you're doing with it, right? You could, like, I trade options, but I also buy stocks, and I'll trade whatever's happening. Or I'll find setups, right? Mark Petrino is a great place to start when it comes to finding trades and things like that. So some of you guys are asking about the short interest on Revlon. I don't know if it's high or not. But according to this, keep in mind, we have short interest data on Revlon, right? And this is a stock that is just ripping higher. So I don't know if it has high short. I did see that the cost to borrow is like 500%. But you can see here the most effective date here on June 9th, 28% of the float was short. So again, these are numbers that you're going to get, every such and day, every week or so. It looks like it's updated every week or two, 2 weeks, I think. But again, this is information that, like, keep in mind, this is not free information that we actually have to pay to get this data. So we give it to you guys. All this data that we host in our site. You know, that's really interesting here. Now, the other stuff I want to highlight here is the insiders tab. I'm looking at the insiders tab, and look, I'm just going to see something here. These are the most recent transactions made. So it looks like it's been a lot of adding here, but the most recent one in June 6th looks like there was a grant of shares, 57,000 shares to Scotty, who is Scotty Beatty. Who is Scotty Beatty? Okay, so this person, Scotty, got awarded 58,000 shares on June 6th. It's like 2-3 weeks ago. Okay, you can see that information there, right? In the insiders. Financials, if you do want to pretty much go over the numbers, in this case, I mean, this is going to be an acquisition if there is anything in the stock. So I wouldn't even care much about the numbers right now. Like it's people are just trading it maybe, or it's squeezing, who knows? But I'm just saying, if you are like a value investor or, you know, that sort of stuff, you can actually find the financials here, income statements, cash flows, all that stuff. More importantly, where I spend most of my time is on the chart, to be honest. If I'm trading, the most important thing is the chart for me. And that is what you learn in the trading school, how to read charts. That's one of the many things you will learn. But more importantly, I'd say the coolest thing that you're going to learn in the school is that you're going to be able to read charts much, much better. Now, how does that help you? Why do I need to do that? You're asking. So for example, and in any case, you could be trading options, you could be buying stocks, crypto, doesn't matter. Forex, these things always apply. It's human beings behind the computer clicking buy and sell, right? Looking at the same chart that you're looking at. And as you learn how to read better charts and understand that language, right, that the market or the chart is trying to tell you, you'll find that you'll be getting better entries and better exits. And if you're familiar with the feeling of, you know, why does every time I buy a stock, it tanks? It's literally, you know, the technical analysis. Like, let's just be, we need to like pinpoint exactly, you know, where traders need to improve. And I've talked about 7,000 traders since I've been here. And I've been able to get to know a lot of traders internationally from around the world because the trading school is international. And I've been able to learn about, you know, it's really funny how the retail traders, we all have very similar issues that we make mistakes, very easy to avoid, but, you know, it's also very easy to overlook and say, oh yeah, I get it, you know, but it's all about being consistent, right? So that was the chapter, that was the scanner that I was showing you guys, right? So you can apply this for the session. If you want to do something a little bit more longer term, you can, you know, set up the 1 month, 3 month, all that stuff, and find longer trends that you think would continue. You know, you have to do your research, you have to do your homework, but I'm just giving you an example of really where you can get started, right? Where there's tons of trade ideas. You just have to kind of see which one is the right one for your strategy for what you're doing. Pete, can the ticker tape be moved to the top? You mean on Benzinga Pro? Sunny, no, this is not Forex trading. No, it's the stocks, but a lot of people trade options, stocks. There are even Forex traders in the trading school. This is something that I think everybody should look into. No matter what you're doing, if you're learning, you need to, it's a skill set. It's a skill set that helps you make money. Like, why wouldn't you want to do this? I mean, why wouldn't you want to learn more about it? You know, like that's what I'm saying. There's only so many hours you can work in, you know, during a day. There's only so many things you can do during a day to make money. So I think that trading it's kind of like that little boost, but I would suggest to do it once you actually, you know, have an understanding of what you're doing, have a good understanding, I guess. And I think, you know, the education is important. It's key. Like almost every problem we have, and it's, you know, it's because of lack of education, you know. So, but it's not your fault if you don't know. It's when you're new. When I was new, I wasn't thinking about, you know, some things like how, you know, like risk management. You're not thinking about that when you're starting out. So that's really why it's important to really join a school, a community, more importantly with an instructor like Mark Petrino that can guide you through your journey as you're starting to trade from the beginning. And don't, you know, because most people, not everybody, but a lot of people will join, and it's when And it's very unfortunate, but hey, they join it. For example, it's after they blew up half of their account or all of their account. And I'm the one that has to take those calls and talk to these people. And don't think it's uncommon. It's very common for retail traders to kind of mess up their account. And I don't blame them. There's a lot of misinformation out there. There's a lot of YouTubers. And really, I think that if you learn from Mark Petrino, a former hedge fund manager, he traded with Steve Cohen and Mario Gabelli. These are multi-billionaires, people that like with a B, okay, like 35 billion plus. So it's just interesting that at the same time that your instructor is somebody that's been around, has done it. He's been doing it for 20 years. He's been a market maker. He's definitely been around the block, I'll tell you that. So Mark Petrino is your instructor. Let me show you really quick here something. And if you want to sign up for a demo, you can just click here, get a demo. But there is a 7-day, $7 trial. After that, it's $14.97. That's right, Johnny. Okay, so tomorrow is Wednesday. No, tomorrow's Thursday. Yes. So tomorrow we will go over the class momentum. So this is chapter number 4. And you can see the first class is at 7 a.m. So it's 7 a.m. Eastern to 9 a.m. Eastern. And then you have momentum. The Q&A for the same class, momentum. That's at noon. So from 12 p.m. till 1. And it does extend, as you saw today. Mark puts in so much time into this. And really the community is amazing. I cannot say anything about the trading school without mentioning the great community that's in there. A lot of good traders, a lot of people that work really hard that have been I've seen the improvement across so many traders out there from the school since we started this in, I think, August or last year. And it's been great to see that. Obviously, I'm kind of busy. You guys keep me busy here, but for the students that actually, go to the live sessions or even watch the recordings, this is some stuff that like you have to go through this. It's like you want to be a doctor and you want to skip, all of high school and your general science degree and just go to the masters, like there are certain steps. And I know it's not what some people want to hear. Everybody wants, a secret formula. That's not what we have. It's really a lot of experience from Mark Petrino and just applying the fundamentals, right? Basics of trading, no overcomplicating the stuff. And investment psychology, that's probably going to be the best class you're ever going to take in all of the trading stuff that you ever take. But as you learn, you start improving your trades. People are making money with Mark. And at that point, they're just staying because they enjoy his company. They love his insight and his analysis on the markets and on certain stocks. If you do have a question, you can always post it. So you have full access to Mark Petrino throughout the whole day via chat rooms or through the live classes. So I think that kind of covers most of the stuff here from the school. If you do want to pull up charts, you can also do that right there. If you want to have everything inside this same platform again. So this is another stock that I've been playing around with, Mullen. But I think there's something's going to happen with something has to happen with this company, with Revlon. I don't know what, but something's going to have to happen. I don't know when they get delisted, but I think it's going to be like July, late to mid July. I don't know really. But you can see all the charting in real time here in Pro. And that's really this is really why I always have my Pro in the morning. I start working at about earlier than 9 a.m., but like I'm always up pretty early looking at the market, scanning around, and I always have my charts in Pro open because the majority of places they'll give you delayed data. They won't even tell you, so you have to be careful with that, especially if you're new. Just know that the trading school has Benzinga Pro and that has real-time data. Okay. Now there's other stuff I could show you here. We have, all you have to do is literally, let me just start here from scratch. All right. So this is pretty much like a Google Chrome almost. So you see on the top, everything is there. So if you click on this thing, this like these squares, you can see all the apps, all the tools, right? I might say that you can use here in Benzinga Pro. Again, keep in mind, I'm doing all this while I have my chart open on the side looking at Revlon RIP. Then you have the Squawk radio. If you want to listen to, we have something like that too. It's Charlie. There you go. We're going to see what he says. This is a live radio, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So we'll hear something there from him in a bit. You have an options one there. But I don't know. I think that's separate. So, I mean, it's not every single second of the day, but you just need to have this radio open. And then as things come out, I'm going to pause it. But as things come out, Charlie will be reading those out. So then how do you open these tabs? Good question. Basically, in the top, just look at the top always. And you see this plus sign. It's like you add a workspace. So this that I have right now is a workspace open. And the workspace that I have is the details one, this one. So in details, I just went here to the chart. And this is where you can do all this stuff. There's a ton of tools here that there's not enough time to show, but yeah, you have all that stuff there. But if you want to open a new one, let's say you want to open a scanner, right? You just click on the plus sign here and you have all like a full array here, right? Of things that advanced news feeds, details. That's the one I showed you. Build your own watch list. And let's see, this news feed fully customizable by your watch list, market cap, a whole bunch of stuff. So there's a lot to look into this. But again, more importantly, keep in mind the trading school is really what you want to be looking at. Pro is, I use Pro to check out my charts and scan the markets. But, I really feel strongly here about the community here with the trading school. I think you guys should give that a shot. And if anybody does have questions, we're going to leave the contact there in the chat. So thanks a lot, folks. Thank you for being here. Pete, shout out. I think that the ticker tape is on the bottom. I don't know if it can be put on the top. It's a good question. Send me an email if you can so I can follow up with that. But yeah, I think it's mostly for the bottom. So, all right, folks, big shout out to all you guys that have been here, right? Make sure that if you do want to join Mark, use that link in the YouTube side. Let's go, guys. And we'll see you guys tomorrow in the school on the other side of this. Thanks a lot and have a great day, folks.